Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
The Devin and Kevin show hasn't always been a smashing success. The fear is that the current postseason might stamp it as a colossal failure, and that would be a calamity on many levels. This new narrative is courtesy of Booker's benign performance in Game 1, where he was 5 of 18 from the field, where he was swallowed up by a pair of relatively unknown defenders, where he once again seemed to place some of the blame on officiating. It's also courtesy of Durant, smiling while Anthony Edwards was lighting him up verbally, saying things you would never say to your elders. Book afterwards seemed nonplussed again, saying it's just a series. Durant was exactly the same, saying it's just hoops. I understand that these two stars don't like the emotional stuff, that they'd rather eat lint than show how much they really care on a basketball court, but on the inside, they better be fuming, because at the moment, the Suns are back on the grill, once again getting skewered by the national media. Book is in danger of losing status points on his way to becoming legendary, and Colin Cowherd just said that KD is on the verge of becoming irrelevant. Now, I don't know about all that, but tonight, I want to see more than two great basketball players leading the way for the Suns. I want to see two angry, hungry, passionate superstars who are coming for a W and a pair of Vs, victory and vengeance. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I mean, we had it going. I think, the game got lost in the last 5-6 minutes of the third quarter where things domino effect. But, if I'm not making shots and my teammates are, I'm not opposed to that either. Games don't go as noticed as that if we win the game and I have a 5 for 15 or 5 for 16. So, it's not my opportunity. I mean, it's not my job out there to just make sure I have an efficient, great night. I'm trying to do everything on the floor to win the game.
That was Devin Booker at practice yesterday. I like that mindset. Look, winning is the most important thing, not an efficient stat line. He was very inefficient.
Yep.
And it wasn't all on him. It wasn't just a bad shooting day for Devin Booker. He was forced into a lot of really tough shots. He had defenders draped on him. He talked, like you said, about the physicality and finding the balance. And this is one of the quotes from Devin Booker that people are talking about, is finding that balance between, being dealt with physically by the defense, but also trying to do that on the defensive end himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough balance where I'm trying to, find too, where guys are being physical with me, and the moment I'm physical with them, I'm in foul trouble and on the bench. I look back at my second and third one, the pass underneath that Mike tried to make that I stole cleanly, and then the trap on Carl, which was initially called on Brad and then changed to me. But it's a physical game, so it's trying to find what they're going to call and what they're not when guys are being physical with you and you try to return that.
The point that he makes there on the second foul, that's the one that stood out to me. I was one of those people that threw my arms up when they called that foul, because at that point it was getting physical. And that's what the frustration is for Devin Booker and every NBA player, is this thought, and it's true, the officiating has changed since the All-Star break. They're letting a lot more go. I think you've seen that ramped up in the physical play. I mean, the first two games of the Philly-New York series, man, they're going at it. You can't call everything. But when a ticky-tack foul is called, that can throw you off. And I think that threw off Devin Booker to a degree. That second foul, he reached in, he got the ball from Conley, they called the foul, he had an incredulous look on his face. That was number 2. Later on in the half, he got that third foul and had to sit for the last 2.5 minutes. Not an excuse. You got to overcome that.
Right, that's my point.
Now, the frustration is there. It will be there,
and
certainly, and there will be there tonight, too. But overcoming that frustration and playing your basketball game is what you need to do.
Listen, no one is arguing that these refs can drive you insane. I think we all realize that. But what you have to do, that sounds like a broken record here, is get over the top of it. Yeah, if you get saddled with a ticky-tack call, get over it. Get back to the business of playing basketball at the highest level possible. So, and again, these two guys can on the exterior, they can be as nonchalant as they choose to be. I just really hope on the inside that both these guys are really ticked off. The way Anthony Davis was when he threw the mic down after last night's game. Now, you don't have to show me the histrionics. I don't need that. But I would like to see tonight an appropriate response to everything that went down in Game 1. That's what I would like to see. Because part of what Stephen A. Smith said is that this team came for you in the third quarter and you didn't really stop them. Mm-hmm. It's easy to say something like that when a game turns the way that game turned, but what you can do now is make sure that this next game doesn't go like that.
Yep.
That's what I want to see from the Suns.
And this isn't all a Devin Booker proposition. Mm-hmm. Devin Booker's got to be better. A lot of people need to be better. Bradley Beal needs to be better. Bradley Beal was the talk of the Phoenix Suns heading into the playoffs because he was that emotional lightning rod for this team. He was setting the example with his play and his efficiency and his shooting numbers, and he kind of had a quiet night. Not a bad night, but a quiet Game 1 against Minnesota. Stephen A. Smith is pointing at both of those guys to step it up.
When Devin Booker can't even give you 20 points in the game, and I don't think that'll last because I believe in Book. He can come back on. But if he doesn't bring his A game, Phoenix has no chance. And Bradley Beal, you ain't been relevant for years because you were stuck in purgatory in the nation's capital. We thought the politicians were what made it into a swamp. Well, the Wizards didn't exactly, they failed to contribute to that, okay? So you were there. And now to be in Phoenix, your first playoff game, 15 points. Now we expect more from Bradley Beal. This is supposed to be a big 3. There was a one who showed up, and he wasn't enough to offset what Anthony Edwards gave to you.
I agree. And when you talk about what could be a marginalized, roster of role players, Grayson Allen, he might play tonight. I think he will play. He's that tough. Okay. But is he going to be his normal self? He was not good in Game 1 before the ankle injury. He's going to be marginalized. What can you count on Eric Gordon? Frank Vogel had the quote after Game 1. Look, Eric Gordon is that kind of guy. You can go 0 for 5 and then go 5 for 5 the next game. That was Eric Gordon's 6th game this year of attempting at least 1 3 and not making any. When he bounces back, the next game he's shooting 36% from 3-point range. So, but he has gone 2 straight games now without making a 3. He's missed 9 in a row. Wow. He's going to break out at some point, but you can't count on it. So I agree with Stephen A. Smith's point. Big 3. Remember the 75-point threshold we talked about? It's the playoffs. You might need 80 tonight from those guys. And even in an off game, they combined for 64 the other day.
Right.
Not nearly enough. You might need 80 points from those 3 tonight if you want to win this game.
Everything you said, I agree with. They need somebody other than the big 3 to step up and do something productive. I would hope it'd be Eric Gordon, especially if Grayson Allen is marginalized. Maybe it's Royce O'Neal. I won't say
O'Neal.
O'Neal. Yeah. I hope that you can feel the heat coming off KD and Book tonight. That's what I want. You don't have to say nothing to me, but I want to feel it.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.